Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
The nerf on Shaco from 0.7 bonus 80 to 0.3 bonus 80 on Shaco's Q from patch 8.6 to patch 8.7 looks very bad. However, in relation to patch 8.5, it still is an overall buff even with the Dustblade nerfs. With recent changes to Ninja Tabbies, Ignite, and Dustblade, I want to see how impactful all these changes actually are when you play off the numbers. The new change that most of you probably do not know about is that Ninja Tabby's armor has been reduced from 30 to 20 armor, and this is somewhat an indirect buff to Shaco when versing against ADCs that build Ninja Tabbies. So here are the numbers that I've been working on. Note that the purpose of this video is to show you the relative changes between the patches, so I'm only going to add things that actually have changed from patch 8.5 to patch 8.7. So I'm excluding Shaco's abilities, which include his backstab, and item bonuses like Triforce Sheen proc. This also means that the numbers are not going to be accurate to the values that you're going to see in game, but values are going to be accurate in respect to each patch. Alright, so to quickly summarize what I did is that since ADCs and other squishies buy Ninja Tabbies to counter assassins, I'm going to include an Ashe test dummy to test the armor and damage reduction which Ninja Tabbies adds. So this is some basic Ashe armor scaling. To figure out about when ADCs build Ninja Tabbies when they're against assassins, I looked at one of the top ADC players, and he builds Ninja Tabbies around the 13-minute mark, which translates to about a level 8 in-game. Pre-patch 8.7, Ninja Tabbies gives 30 armor. So I'll add to get the total armor and then plug it into a formula to get the damage reduction and multiplier. So I'm going to be testing two builds, Chase's builds and XZZ's build. If you don't know them, I've linked them in the description. So here I've included about the level where they purchased an item so that I can calculate the bonus 80 scaling on Shaco's Q. So for patch 8.5, Dustblade's damage is from 65 to 320 from levels 1 to 18, and Ignite is from 700 to 410 from levels 1 to 18, and Q in patch 8.5 has no bonus damage. With these numbers, you can calculate the auto damage out of Q, including Ignite with or without the armor of the target, and you can also calculate the damage of your ulti combo. For patch 8.6 came the change of Shaco's Q, which now has base damage and now scales off of AD with the ratio of 0.7. I will be following the put 3 points in Q max E, then max Q when calculating the base Q damage because high elo Shaco players generally do this. Ignite got changed from 80 to 505 damage from level 1 to 18. And to calculate his bonus Q damage, you just multiply 0.7 times the current item 80. And with these values, you can calculate the same thing you calculated for the previous patch. For patch 8.7, Ninja Tabbies is changed from 30 to 20 armor, which changes the damage reduction and multiplier. Shaco's scaling on his Q has been changed from 0.7 to 0.3. So the bonus AD from the items is now multiplied by 0.3 instead of 0.7. And then again, you can calculate the same values that you calculated for the previous patches for this patch. After doing all this work, you can finally graph all these values to see the relative change to Shaco's damage in each patch. Alright, so for Chase's build, when we look at the relative damage without a factor of armor, we can see that patch 8.6 and patch 8.7, the early game is relatively unchanged. There's a spike here when Dustblade is purchased, and you can see that the late game is hurt the hardest for patch 8.7, but it is still a buff compared to patch 8.5, if you remember how Shaco felt. For XZZ's build, you can still see the same general trend. When we look at how armor affects the damage, we can see that for Chase's build in patch 8.7 and patch 8.6 damage, it's extremely similar. Remember that in patch 8.7, Ninja Tabi armor is reduced from 30 to 20, so if an ADC decides to buy Ninja Tabis, your damage will basically be the same until you purchase enough AD. As you can see, the difference between patch 8.6 and 8.7 increases. In fact, upon purchase of Ninja Tabis of the ADC, both builds will do more damage in patch 8.7 compared to the other patches. Your auto attack out of stealth is significantly stronger at all stages of the game when compared to 8.5. For Xyz's build, you can see that the more AD does significantly less damage from 8.6 to 8.7 in the late game. A complaint that I've heard is that Shaco's ulti combo relies significantly on Dustblade doing damage, so a nerf to Dustblade would hurt that combo. Not surprisingly, patch 8.7 is the lowest value for that combo. However, this also means that Shaco's not as reliant on that combo as seen on the previous graphs because he does more damage. However, it can be seen that the more AD you build, the closer your ulti combo will do, and it will approach patch 8.5 ulti damage, as seen on Xyz's build. I don't expect the next patch to destroy Shaco in relation to 8.6, which is a nerf, but not as significant as it would seem. Shaco's early game damage is largely untouched, but his late game assassin potential is definitely nerfed, but definitely still playable. From 8.5 to 8.7, it is an overall buff. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings about Shaco's current state of how he's busted or that he's nerfed to the point of unplayable. I can't say myself because I'm probably hard stuck on Shaco due to bad game sense. However, since there are players who exclusively play Shaco and are challenger, then that has to tell you that Shaco is somewhat in a decent state. But the problem is that some champions do Shaco's role better, which you kind of have to accept that and play around. Also, at least people will stop banning Shaco. Alright, so thanks for watching. If you have thoughts on this or I did maybe a calculation error, please comment it below. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you dislike it, you could thumbs down it. And if you want to see more Shaco content, please subscribe.